So, something that I see a lot, and I've been seeing a lot lately, I think possibly because of the subjects that are being discussed currently. There's a lot of politics flying in the realm of what would otherwise normally be like Christian content providers, and there's a lot of like sociological stuff, a lot of things trying to tackle racism, sexism, women as elders, and I've covered a lot of these topics as well. But something that I've been seeing is people that are on the progressive, leftist, liberalist, like that leaning theology, where it's endorsing things the Bible calls sin, it's permitting and affirming things the Bible condemns and forbids, like a lot of that over here, that the people espousing those positions are responding to criticism, and there's a couple of words and phrases and terms they typically tend to use. One is gatekeeping, and two is mean. That they're saying that people that are coming from a conservative, reformed, whatever, backside, like more traditionalist theological perspective, are being mean to them, that they're being unkind, that they're being hateful. And on the one hand, let me give a little bit of a benefit of the doubt first off, in this way, and that if you're out there and you're saying like slurs, using profanity, you just need to stop doing that. If you're a traditional, like you're on the side, the traditionalist perspective, and you're doing that, you need to stop doing that. However, over here, when they're talking about being mean, it usually amounts to people that just simply disagree and are not letting these progressive, liberalist, like positions, they're not letting wiggle out of their what oftentimes ends up being heresy, which, if you didn't know, heresy does two major things. They describe God, man, and sin falsely. That's the major thing that heresy does. It describes God falsely, man falsely, sin falsely. And so they're not letting them wiggle out of that. And as a result, they're like, why are you condemning? Why are you judging? Why are those kind of words? And I'm just not concerned about that at all. And at least when people say that I'm mean or that I'm being unkind, like as far as things that are on my tier list or things that are on my priority list, that's just not very high, because of the fact that I've been doing this, teaching, preaching, like contending for the truth of God. I've been doing this for 15 plus years. I've done it in a lot of different contexts, and simply, I mean, I've had witches curse me. I've had people curse at me, swear at me. I've been called things that cannot pass censors anywhere. I've had people physically attack me. Like all of that. I've experienced all of that. So being called mean just isn't really concerning to me at all. But when you consider what the Bible has to say about people that are false teachers, they're called swine, they're called wolves, they're called dogs, they're called fierce beasts, they're called like broods of vipers, whitewashed tombs. Like, just the Bible does not use kind terms for them. It says that they ought to emasculate themselves, rather, which, if you don't know what that means, you can look it up. But like the Bible, if that's the standard, how we're supposed to deal with them, that we're supposed to extricate them, that we're to expel them from the community, we're not to tolerate them on our midst. Like, if that's what the Bible's standard for how to deal with these people that are teaching falsely, then I'm actually not being harsh enough with them. So quite frankly, like, but beyond that, let's deal with the idea of gatekeeping. The reason that we're gatekeeping Christianity is because there is a gate. Jesus himself taught that there is a narrow gate and there's a wide gate. There's a narrow way and there's a wide way, and that many people are going to go through that wide gate to that wide way, and that way goes to destruction. But few will pass through the narrow gate, and few will find that narrow way which goes to life. That's Jesus. And the thing is, Jesus is that gate. You cannot defy, rebel against, and reject the very things that Jesus himself taught and claim to be within that narrow gate. You just cannot have both ways. You have to pick. And the thing is, they want to be able to like have their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to have their sin and still have and it just doesn't work like that. It simply doesn't. So if you are one of those, this is my moment where literally the only thing I can do for you is to call you to repent of the things that you have been teaching that are objectively false. Repent of that and then come into the fold. That's the only option you have available.